Are wins like this more satisfying when you're down 7 with 5 minutes to go and you see what your team's all about?
Yeah, I thought we had to get stops to get in transition, or we had to get on the offensive glass. Like, we weren't stealing any baskets. They were making shots, and they got into a rhythm to start the second half. So when you get yourself there, you find out where you are, like what you want to do. And obviously, we were able to get some rebounds. Like, I was kind of shocked that we out-rebounded them as much, because it didn't seem like we were rebounding, in parts of the game. You know what I mean? You get to the end and you out-rebounded by 11. You should feel good about that, but it didn't seem that way. Good luck, man. Good luck. And they just did some things to us, and they forced us to defend some things differently. Like, we had to, end up switching 5 ways and some ball screen action and doing different stuff. I just didn't feel comfortable playing our bigger guys, because their 5s are really 4s, right? But they have good frames. Like, you can see, the experience and the maturity of their team. Just everybody just seemed like they were, put together and athletic, and been in a lot of those situations. But yeah, I thought we showed a lot of resiliency, just to be able to make some plays, make some shots, and then get some key rebounds and get some key stops down the stretch, because we went a long time where we weren't getting stops, but then offensively we had open looks and missed it. And then we doubled up our turnovers. We had 4 in the first half, had 8 in the second half, and so then we were hanging our head a little bit, and that's normal behavior when you're missing shots. We had the ball at the rim 2 or 3 times and just didn't have anything to show for it. We had wide open shots, didn't have anything to show for it. So it was really a kind of a gut check for us to be able to to find a way on both ends to pull the victory out. But give our guys credit; they showed a lot of basketball character.
Is it satisfying as a coach to see Miles rewarded for the energy he's playing with right now?
Yeah, when we were struggling right there, he made that big 3. That 3 right there, Braden hit him, and the way they play and the way they switch and they do things, they force you to play, a little bit differently. And we had our way there in the first half. I thought we should have been in a better position in halftime, and we were getting the ball where we wanted. And then we got a little bit sloppy. We didn't get it there. We missed Trey. We had some guys just, we'll watch film and get better. We just missed Trey in there. He needed to get the ball on some of those post-up mismatches. But yeah, it was great for Miles, man. He's worked very hard defensively, and here this past month, he's done a lot of really good things on the defensive end. And if you do that and you get out on the court with his ability to shoot, it was huge. Obviously he made the big play in transition. He makes the biggest play of the game by having a nose for the ball and getting that put back, kind of a Lorenzo Charles type play, where he gets the put back to win the game on an air ball.
And you go back to even the start of the game, he's a big element of that 8-0 start you guys get on. I think he had some plays coming out of halftime too. It just seemed like he was an instigator throughout this game.
No question. He actually had a play. He covered up unbelievable ground, and we fouled him. He was going to almost got that block in transition, but yeah, he got off to a good start. But yeah, he's worked really hard. We can put him on 1, 2, 3, it doesn't matter. So whoever is really their guy. The problem with Ole Miss is they got a lot of dudes, and so now we wanted him a part of guarding that. But if we stayed that way, they were going to pick and pop with those centers, and they were going to have their way. They started making threes, they started driving us, and we had to switch that, but we had to do a good job of pushing it back, and Miles was a big part of that. We wanted him in that equation because he's done such a good job defensively.
Trey seems like he's reaching that level of some of the post guys you've had before in terms of what you can count on him for and how comfortable you are getting him the ball. Just what did this week kind of do for him, and what did you see from him in terms of that go-to guy role?
Playing against Ole Miss, you need a week of practice, in preparation, and obviously we didn't have it. We used to have that advantage on a lot of people because of Zach, because now you got to go back to back and you can't practice and get prepared for it. And now, if you don't double the post, you're a real limbo. So for him, that one day, break there, not one day break, just the next day, now they're going to switch a lot of things. And we're going to try to get him the ball in some of those mismatches. But they do a great job of knocking out the post. But no, he's, gaining confidence, and he's getting better. And, I think you can't let him kind of lose his confidence or lose his ability of wanting the ball when he misses free throws too. Like, you got to be encouraging with him and just tell him to keep at it, because you'll see that with some guys. You'll see that when they start missing free throws, now they don't want it. But it's not just for him scoring the ball. He's done such a good job making decisions and passing. So whether that's in the low post or in the pocket passes, he's really taken a big step in his decision making. This is something we've seen for a long time. I remember telling him when we didn't know if Zach would return that I think he would lead us in scoring if Zach went pro. And I'm not talking about this year, I'm talking about last year. And he just kind of looked at me, and I just said, like, hey, it's what I think of you, it's what I've seen. And you're a guy that can really score the basketball, but if he does come back, you got to play alongside him, and that's just that. And now someone's got to play alongside him, which is pretty cool.
It's funny because he's talking here. He said a few weeks ago he's one that's kind of advocating to go to small ball more and play that lineup. But standing here, he's still talking about, I know there's an adaptation that's still taking place of how he gets used to this.
Yeah, if he wants to get 13 rebounds a game and defend, we'll continue along this path, because when we out rebound him by 11, and he gets 3 rebounds, that's just not going to work. He got 13 rebounds, and that's the difference right there. That's the difference when you go small. You can't be small when shots go up. You got to be a great box out team. You got to be able to do it. But one of the advantages defensively is when you get into a bind with bigs that can shoot and drive and play, now you can switch. So now Trey can guard a guard, and now those other guys can flip and guard them. But you got some mismatches on them when shots go up too. Like sometimes those box out mismatches, hurt us. But he's been great. He's been great. The small ball's really helped us with that, because his versatility on defense, but also his versatility being able to pass.
We started fronting him some in the second half with a smaller, more athletic guy. I guess what's that change in terms of what you do to try to get him the ball?
Well, that's what they're supposed to do the whole time. That's what they do. They switch 5 ways, and they knock out the post. They hold their low man, and then he just did a good job of finding these little creases in there and getting the basketball. In the second half, I thought they did a better job of knocking him out and getting their low man. And we weren't as good at delivering the ball and getting it to him. And then you can see when we don't do that, and then we don't move the basketball, now we get stale. We get stagnant and just stand there, and you got to be able to get some movement against them, whether that's ball movement or body movement. But I just thought their defense was better in one stretch where we didn't get it to them. But I also thought we missed it. And we'll go back and watch that. And that's something that all of our guards have learned to do when they've had a good post-up guy, is just make your life easier by getting them the basketball. You're actually going to score more if you get him the basketball.
Did Brady need to see some shots go in? Did you guys need to have him start hitting some things?
Yeah, he sometimes will come in and out of some things. Like he made some shots in that first half, and then in that second half, he made the good drive there. And then we really talked about him when he drove. If it's not just clear cut, he had to play on 2 feet, and he just did it, and he got that turnover. Because when we played on 2 feet there, whether that was Trey or whether that was him, we were able to get some passes out and get some good looks, and that's what we were looking to do there. But running that play for him there at the end, just trying to get to his pull up. The problem is, if you, in those situations, if you let the ball get out of his hands and you do go to the post, if they come and double, the ball might not get back to him. So you live and die with your best guy. I used to do it with Biggie Swanigan, and people thought I was crazy because we would post him. But he was such a good passer and decision maker that he could score and pass it and get it out of his hands. The problem is you had to get it to him a little bit earlier, and then sometimes you got your shot. You want your shot there exactly where we got our shot. You give yourself a chance for a putback, but that's it. You don't want a chance for a fast break basket when the score's tied.